Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Stockport, a brand new season, Season 5, we're in the Championship, the transfer hat is back, let's get stuck into things. Actually wait, so the transfer hat might well stay on for the entire video because underneath this I look like I've been dug out of the ground. Basically there's no hot water at the moment, and while I'm waiting for the plumber, I shouldn't even be recording today, but doing this instead just to kill some time, and plus, you know, it's a great save, I'm having fun. But before we get into any of that, it's also time to thank new patrons. I actually forgot I hadn't done it at the start of the week, and it got a bit messed up with the whole Christmas period. So this week, Flynn Leeson, welcome back to the Patreon fold. That's very awesome of you, mate. And at the Espresso Cat for upping your pledge. That's really awesome of you as well. And everyone else that's been continued support over there, that is fantastic. And everyone just watching the videos, hopefully Season 5 will be just as successful as the other 4. I honestly can't believe we're in this position, to be honest. But there you go. So I figured we'd start off just by showing you the staff screen. Now, I have been doing a lot of changes over here. And you might notice there's still a few slots available. That's because we had a couple of members of staff retire, and I've still been trying to negotiate replacements. I found 3, and I've got contracts on the table, but they haven't actually accepted them yet. And it sucks because one of the scouts that retired was bloody good. He had like 17, and he had some good knowledge of countries we don't know about, which reminds me, scouting range has been upgraded to Europe. But I have found another scout, and he's going to take over, so it should boost us on that one. We still don't have any data analysts because the board won't let me, which is a pain. Even though there's one there, it says 0, but we're not allowed to actually hire any. Booty has been smacking them balls recently. Just gonna leave that one there with shared without comment. Should I add jiggled my titties to whole new heights to the That's So British vocab lib? Yes, you have. Although I've never actually heard anyone else say that. Sometimes I just say things when they come to mind, and that was one of them. Rumour has it that the Stockport Viaduct will be named after Bruno Bridges if he scores in the Premier League. Then it's probably going to be confusing with its existing name. I'm not hinting that he's left or anything. He is firmly still here and our club captain. It's just that he's only scored 1 goal for us in 4 years. And I think if we were to get to the Premier League, by that point, his opportunities in the first team will be somewhat limited. So I can't see him scoring, but making an appearance, I can guarantee he will, because I'm going to keep him at the club until he bloody does. I want that man to have a testimonial. In with a chance of 4 straight promotions. Thought you said in Season 1 that was unlikely. Yeah, I did. And it was. But here we are. Scripted? Absolutely, you foiled me. Here, in fact, is the script for Season 5, if any of you guys are interested. We slump home to a mid-table finish with Bruno Bridges being our top goal scorer. I get involved in a horrible tram accident, fall into a coma, have to be awoken by true love's first kiss by Louis Malden. And Regan Booty grows bored of his career as a footballer, decides to give it all up for a career in burlesque. All that and more to look forward to this season. Anyway, moving on. The board did decide to cancel the upgrades to our youth academy, which was just stellar. Just stellar. Just what we needed at this point. We are struggling for funds a little bit, and despite that, I still haven't even spent that much of the transfer fund. You might also notice we're on July 16th. Bit early to be starting the season, but that's because we've got the bloody Winter World Cup this year, and as a result the season starts crazy early. We only had 3 weeks of pre-season, and as many games as I could schedule, we're going to have a lot of players that aren't match fit because we simply didn't have time to get them match fit. Ipswich were the ones that came up through the playoffs in the end. I think they beat Oxford in the final. I actually can't remember, but it was definitely Ipswich that came up on pens. Miller won Player of the Year, as you would imagine. I was Manager of the Year, as you would imagine. Malden, Nerfield, Miller, Bridges and Davidson were in the Team of the Year. It's nice to see Bridges actually get in the Team of the Year despite his sort of iffy form for the most part. I finally sorted out the squad numbers too, and we haven't had a huge number of large bids for our players this summer, just a couple of them, which we have had some issues with, but Bruno Bridges, now being the team leader and captain, has been able to resolve pretty much any squad problem I've had. I've just talked to Bruno Bridges and he has fixed it for me. He is a monster at this club. They fear him. Right. Transfers. We've got some outs on loan, and a big whole host of players coming in before today's game against Norwich City, our first game of the season, which is a bit annoying, and you'll find out why in a minute. Josh Clackstone has left. We're just going to start from transfers. Josh Clackstone has left the club, joined Connors Key. Yeah, it was going to happen. We'll just run you through some of the outs first. Jack Stevenson, another that's left the club. He came in from Oxford. He just didn't quite get a chance here, really. But he's gone out on a free to Hearts. Now a couple of loanees that have gone out. James Teggart, the young Northern Irish left back, has gone out on loan to Linfield for a year. I want to get him some football, basically, because I think this guy does have a bright future. Scouts still reckon 5-star potential. Let's help him realise that by playing. Mide Shadipo's also gone out on loan to Ireland. A lot of Irish clubs coming in for our players, which is kind of interestingly. I guess he is Irish too, though. So he's gone out to St Pat's Athletic for a full season. Hopefully he can get some football time there, because he's just not going to play here, unfortunately. And the final out on loan is Osman Kakay. He's gone out on loan to Cork City for a year, gets his wages off the bill, or some some of them. I'm pretty certain they're paying £400 a week. It's not a load, but it's some, and it gets him some football time. And don't worry, we've got other players in those positions now. And that's what we want to actually be talking about. So the first sign that's coming is Neil Brock from Chelsea on a free transfer. I briefly mentioned him at the end of last season as well. Looks like a solid player. My scouts originally had his potential lower, but now with the new boys, they seem to reckon that he's actually better than they thought. So good finishing, good heading, good technique. He's only 5'6" though, so that is a slight problem. Quite a diminutive striker, but still could be quite a solid one in the future. Got a long way to improve. That's fine. Barely on any wages. Next up, Jordi Osei-Tutu. A lot of free transfers and loans this summer. It's been undeniable. In the position we're in, with the players that were available to us because of our reputation, it's mostly been loan signings, free transfers, and young players. That's all we've really been able to sign. Signing established players that are good enough for the league at this point is virtually impossible for us. So we're going to have to rely on the strength of the tactics and the squad to build into it basically and just try to do our best. I think he's a solid player. He's got the kind of Bruno Bridges sort of stats in a lot of areas, except he's not quite as good physically, but he is faster. But he's also got that 10 dribbling, which means I think from an attacking perspective, he should be able to be a match down that wing, particularly as we do play a more dribbling style game now. I think he should really add to that, and I've really tried to focus on players that have got a good dribbling stat just to build that part of the team up nicely. And I think that could win us some fouls as well this year, which we can then exploit from set pieces. So a good signing, I think, for now. Jordi Osei-Tutu, welcome to the club, son. Next up is Niall Ennis. He's come in on a free transfer, this time from Wolves, and I signed him mainly not to play as a striker. He is mainly going to be playing as a backup inside forward to Liam Miller, who is still at the club for now. Haven't had any bids for him. I find that really weird. But this guy, he is rapid quick. He has got 14 pace, 16 acceleration. He's got good stamina as well. He could just go all day, and that's what we want. Decent finishing, decent dribbling. Crossing isn't amazing, but that's fine because he's an inside forward. He's got decent long shots, passing technique. His work rate is okay. He also can play as a striker if we need him to, so having good options in that position is definitely what I want to do, but it will predominantly be a backup on that left-hand side to Liam Miller. That's where Ennis will probably play the most. Next up, another loan signing in the shape of Henry Agumbi. I mentioned him at the start of last year that he went to Wigan instead of us, and now for some reason they were willing to let him go on loan to us for a season. The idea is just to bring in another player that can play on that right hand side with Okoro and Tilt, because Okoro does seem to have little niggly injury problems, and I don't want to have to rely on Che Tilt the entire season. I want to have a few players that can all rotate in that role. Physicals aren't great, but he is decent in terms of pace, good crossing, decent dribbling, good first touch, passing, work rate, vision, all relatively solid and a long way to improve still. It's weird that they've loaned him to a team in the division above, but hey, for relatively no money, I was quite happy to bring him on board. Next up, another loan signing is Samuel Shashua, who's coming on loan from Spurs. Main reason for this is because I knew that we only really had one solid player for an attacking midfielder, and that was Callum Gribben. I wanted to have someone else that was not equally as good, but maybe just slightly below, that could play when he's not playing, and it's just as well because Gribben picked up an injury pre-season and is going to miss the first couple of games, so Samuel Shashua will be starting. It's as simple as that. Decent dribbling, decent physicals apart from his jumping reach. He's pretty diminutive as well. I think he's a solid signing, and again, on loan for a year, so we've had to rely on a lot of loans while we try and sort out the youngsters at the squad, really. That's just how we've had to do it. Next in, Vashon Nerfil. He's coming on a permanent transfer from West Ham, played brilliantly for us last year, and I felt it was only right that he be brought to the club. And for £625 a week, I assume it's because he was released, he wanted way less money, and so we were able to bring him into the club as well. He'll probably be our starting left-back this year in the Championship. However, I have signed another player there on loan just to give us even more depth to the role, because Doherty is not going to cut it even as a backup for me. And that player is Christopher Enabakare, who's coming on loan from Middlesbrough. Solid in that role, not quite to the level of Vashon Nerfil yet, but I think a really solid player for the future for them anyway, and he'll definitely get some game time for us this year in cups and when we rotate things around, because the players in that position do tend to get knackered. We're going to need to swap things around, and Enabakare is going to need to be played quite a fair bit. I imagine he'll probably rack up at least 20 appearances for us this year. Our final loan signing for now is Adam Ida, or Ida, or Idar. I don't know, actually. Let me know how you pronounce his surname, Norwich fans. This is why I was a bit bugged that we're playing Norwich on the first day, because he won't be able to play against his parent club, so we will have to start up front with Hanlon or Chris Thorpe. There's a lot of reasons why I'm interested in this guy. I said we might have to try and bring a striker in on loan, and that was the best I could do. Really, the sort of strikers we were looking at that would sign for us, they were old, they wanted big money, and they weren't even that good. They were sort of 3 stars kind of looking. I just didn't see the point. I figured if we can get a decent one for a season, you never know. If we progress well, we might be able to sign him permanently. Who knows what Norwich will want to do with him. Point is, he is rapidly quick. 17 pace, 15 acceleration. Really decent physicals, good finishing, dribbling, first touch, passing, technique, vision is also pretty solid. He's a good worker, off the ball is good. There's a lot of things to like about this guy, and I literally see no reason why he won't be a success in this team. I want to see him score us 20 goals this year. I want a striker to score 20 goals this year, and I think this guy could be that guy. So very, very pleased to get him on a loan. Not only that, but they're paying all of his wages for the entire... We've basically got him for free for the entire season. I can't really say no to that. And finally, the only player I've actually spent money on in this entire window so far. Admittedly, it's still only July 16th. There's still more time for me to bring in a couple more signings before the window shuts, because we do still have some money left to spare. So I'm still searching. But because our scouting range is now Europe, I was able to send a couple of scouts out. I sent one to Spain and one to Serbia, because I haven't actually turned the leagues on yet. I'm going to soon. But I wanted to see if they could find any young regens for me. And it wouldn't be one of my saves without us signing a player from Red Star Belgrade. That's exactly what we did. This is Slobodan Basic, or Slobodan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that first name. It's probably neither of those two, and I'm probably butchering it massively, but I apologise. He's come in for £300,000. Now, it's 100 up front with 200 over 3 years, so we're spacing out the transfers, you know, looking to the future. But he's got great physicals, great balance, he's got good natural fitness, he's quite good acceleration, actually, for a 19-year-old. He's got 27 under 21 caps already. He will play for Serbia. Now, he's only on 1.6k a week, but he does have an international wage clause, and I sense that probably will get triggered at some point because he will play for Serbia. Not amazing heading, but he is fairly tall, so he could improve on that. Good marking, 15 tackling as well is exceptionally good, and what I really want to see. And he's left-footed. Good personality as well. Being left-footed means we can have John Gray on one side and Basic on the other, and I think that's going to be a really solid centre-back partnership with the likes of Ethan O'Kane and Regan Poole playing as backups. You know, O'Kane's still very young, and I think Basic could just be that little bit better. But we really are struggling for fitness with these players due to the season starting so early. This is the earliest I've ever seen it start. July 16th is our first match. We've only had three and a half weeks, I think, of pre-season, during which no matter how many games I scheduled, we just cannot get our match fitness up to scratch. And I hope that Norwich are having similar problems, because if they don't and they've got a fully fit squad, I'll wonder how. So today's game is away at Norwich City. We're going to have to make do without Adam Eder to see how he does on his debut. We'll have to wait until the Derby game, which is midweek, because the games have been really squished in as well, despite starting the season earlier. Fulham, Leeds, and of course Norwich were the teams relegated from the Premier League last season, so that's going to be interesting. Us playing one of the relegated Prem teams, always what you want to do on the first day. They're obviously massive favourites, no shock there. Gary Rowett managing them now. Now, another thing I did try moving the box-to-box to a ball-winning midfielder in some of the friendlies, and it just didn't really work that well. The other idea I've talked to people about is the idea of potentially making our deep line playmaker a defensive role, so that there's just a little bit more support there, and we've got a slightly more covering player in that role. It's something I might try for today, because we're away from home at Norwich and we kind of need to come up with something. Anyway, let's pick the team. You know, I'm actually tempted to go with Niall Ennis up top. Magoma isn't really what I want there. I want Shashua, who, oh my god, I think he's just come back from an injury, so he might not be able to play there either. This is what I mean. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. There's still options for players to come in, though. For example, we'll have Ida up top there. We'll have Shashua and Gribben to come back in. We've still got the likes of Gumby in there as positional options. We've got options all over the park, which is nice to see. But yeah, we'll try with Niall Ennis up top today, see what he does as an attacker. He's pretty quick. Murphy, O'Kane, Gumby, Thorpe, Bridges, Poole, and Brandon Hanlon, of course. So many, you know, strikers off the bench too. We'll have options with Thorpe and Hanlon. I think there's still got plenty of game time this year, so we'll just kind of go with that for now. We've done all right against this, but I sense that the sheer power of being the better side might be what often beats us in the league this year. Tactically, we could still be good, but just getting beaten by pure quality. But that's something that hopefully will please you guys a little bit, like sort of 12, 10, 15, 17, 7, 6, 3, 5, 16, 1. Like, the numbers are fairly low. Well, I tried to make them low anyway with the existing players we had when we got to submit them. So yeah, obviously they went up the order as the players became less important. So Gribben's got a low number as well. O'Kane, Bridges, you know the drill. All in all, I think this is going to be a very interesting experiment. Yeah, look at the Norwich City match fitness as well. They're in a similar spot to we are, at least, so that's helpful. Oh, what a tackle from Basic straight off the board. First Serbian to join the club, which is nice. Well won by Tutu. Can he find a cross maybe? Goes short. Davidson brings it back to him. Tutu's going to cut inside for a Coro. Finds Miller! Oh my god, we have the lead at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, Stockport 1. Liam Miller getting things off to a flyer. John Okoro, finally back from injury after all those layoffs towards the end of last year, gives us a great little assist. Bit of luck there, but Davidson, nice work. Just staying nice and deep. Okoro, beautiful ball across, and Liam Miller just gets a little flick on that. Quite a powerful flick, and we lead at Carrow Road. It's been a very even game, but look at the possession now. Yes! Somebody get a tackle in. Horatio, and Molden will collect. Not too bad so far. bringing it forward. Brewster looks like a dangerous player. He's gone through all 3 of them. Oh, what a goal. This is what I was saying about how sometimes teams are just going to undo us with the sheer quality of players there. Ryan Brewster has just picked the ball up just inside his own half and just dribbled through 3 of our defenders. Watch this here. Goes through all 3 of them and then able to pick a lovely ball, and Horatio with the equaliser for Norwich. You can't really deny them that. We've only had 1 shot on target. It's level at Carrow Road. Okay, Livermore. Brewster again. We're going to have to go after Brewster in this second half, I think. He's going all the way through again. And Molden makes a save. Right, we're going to make the change literally momentarily. Okay, half-time, 1-1. Miller gave us the lead. Araujo's goal equalises. We'll take a look at the analysis. Yeah, look at this. It's all right side for Norwich. And we're going after Roberts too, because they're definitely concentrating on this side. We're going to make one little change ourselves as well and listen to my assistant. We're just going a bit more direct, only to standard, bear in mind. But they also said in the pre-match that the idea of a counter press could benefit us, and it has in the past. I'm a bit turbulent about doing that, but we've got, you know, a decent amount of possession in this match, so maybe there is still something in the second half. I would happily take a 1-1 draw in this match if it came to it, but I feel like a ball over the top to Ennis at some point in the second half could be a chance for us. Make those tackles on him instead. That's better. Roberts. Great stuff. That's far more like it. Davidson to Miller. Here we go. Let's break away a little bit more. Go up, run at them a bit. Ennis. He's got Okoro creeping in at the back post. Ennis goes all the way through. Okoro! Yes! Norwich 1, Stockport 2. John Okoro with his first goal of the season and his first goal in the championship. The changes we made, I believe, worked. The defensive ones in terms of marking up certain players and getting in on them much better as well. But not just that, just looking a bit more standard for the passing. Ennis just drives through them and Okoro making the run in. We're back in front of Carrow Road. This one actually does look a bit like Carrow Road, which is nice. 2-1 to Stockport County. Yes, lads. Uh-oh, breakaway still. Brewster, get out to him. Make those tackles, guys. Oh, he sort of made the tackle. That's surely offside. Nuno Santos, and it's in the back of the net. I thought that looked a little bit offside. Norwich City level. Nuno Santos, the left winger, with the goal. It's all level at Carrow Road. I thought there was a hint of offside there. I guess we'll find out. The actual tackle on Brewster here was very, very good, but it just... Oh, no, it wasn't. Never mind. And... Oh, he just holds his run. And Molden very nearly got to that. 2-2 here at Carrow Road. Uh-oh, Nuno Santos, set piece. No! Oh! Headed wide by Jake Livermore. Norwich do look a bit threatening from corners all of a sudden. Hanley! Over the bar again. Come on, 91st minute corner. Booty will take it short. I don't know who's next to him. I'm guessing Okoro? Taking our time over it. Okoro, can he find... Oh my god, John! What was that? It does look as if it's going to be a 2-2 draw at Carrow Road. I will happily take that. I think we've rode our luck a bit at times today. We've only had the 2 shots on target, Miller and Okoro's goals. Okoro, man of the match with a goal and an assist. Norwich probably should have won that game in the end, but we had some chances ourselves. They're a good side, and we've got a point at Carrow Road. I see that as a very positive thing about our chances at staying up and actually fighting for a solid mid-table spot this year. We're definitely going to struggle a little bit in places, but I think if we can just tighten things up in a few areas, maybe make a couple more signings, there's definitely a team in here that are capable of staying up. John McGray must have made a mistake leading to a goal. I don't know which one it was. So, next game, off camera. Sorry, not off camera, on camera. I want to do a Fulham match. It has to be done. I want revenge after what happened in the Premier League, in the FA Cup match last season. So, going to do a few games off camera. Leicester, Derby, Charlton, and Leeds come back for the Fulham match at Edgeley Park. Maybe try and get our first win there. I'd like to think we could maybe get a win before that because we're playing against Charlton at some point. So, yeah. But either way, if you're looking forward to the new season, drop a like on the video. A 2-2 draw at Carrow Road is nothing to be sniffed at, I would say. That would be awesome. And if you're new to the channel and want more stuff like this, the hat won't be on in every video. Don't worry. This is essentially, I'm being held hostage by the hat at this point. But yeah, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in your inbox every single day at 6. And I will join you guys in the next episode for a home game against Fulham as we really do start to plough into the championship season. Hopefully we pick up a win before then. That would be ideal, really. Anyway, see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.